Hey guys, I think my San Francisco 49ers picked up something while they were down in LA to take on the Rams in their Week 3 matchup. It's something called clippering. They got the case of the clippering because that's exactly what happened. And apparently, I seem to have picked it up too because that was so bad. That was so bad in what went down this past Sunday when the Niners took on the Rams. Like, holy fuck. How do you blow that game, man? How in the fuck do you blow that game? And, I tried to be nice. I tried to be nice these last 2 weeks because, I let you guys slide, but no more sugarcoating. No more sugarcoating. Not enough of the bullshit. Let's get down to business because, this was a really bad loss when you look at this. So we all know the story of this game. The Niners and the Rams were going into this annual InjuryMania that's gonna run wild. What you gonna do, brother, when InjuryMania runs wild on you, and you? Because they were pretty beat up on both sides of the ball. The Rams were missing two of their starting receivers in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and the Niners were missing Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Deebo Samuel. Yeah, three of their starting weapons. So it's pretty even keel, but for both sides, they're still having a lot of key players on both sides of the ball, but offensively, pretty banged up. And the Rams were missing half of their starting offensive line, but still got to find a way to win this game. And as I said towards the end of my preview, made the best injured team win. So it was going to be a key of, how are we going to produce offensively for both of these teams? And, for the Rams, it turned out to be, their night, their day that they managed to produce. So when you look at this game for the Rams, they needed to find ways to produce with the core of their team injured. And, as Mark Sanchez managed to put it bluntly at some point during the game, they had to do it ugly. And, they managed to do so mainly because, the Niners shooting themselves in the foot and bleeding slowly but surely. Matthew Stafford and the Rams didn't exactly get off to a hot start because of the 49ers' blistering defense, but they managed to take advantage of the opportunities when they could get them as the game wore on. So they took what they could get with a dose of Kyren Williams and the very little passing attack that they had, mainly with Tutu Atwell, the third receiver. That's pretty much all they had in this game. But they made it work. It was what it was. And that patchwork offensive line that struggled at first, like I said, it struggled, but they adjusted. They adjusted in protecting Matthew Stafford. And the defense, they also struggled, but Byron Young, he had a relatively nice game. He did pretty much all he could. And he kind of succeeded especially in the first half. So they managed to hold serve. So for the Rams, they managed to do what they could do. And that's pretty much all I'm going to leave it on their side because I have a lot to say about my 49ers because, we were also going to find out on who are going to be producers without George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and obviously the doctor, Christian McCaffrey, CMC in this one. I mean, we still had a couple of playmakers in there like Brandon Ayuk and Jordan Mason and Jawan Jennings. And, those two ended up being key for this one for San Francisco. Jawan Jennings being that fire starter for the offense right out of the gate. Brock Purdy and Jawan going in, scoring on a touchdown almost immediately. And then they ended up connecting again on the very next series. They went up 14-0, like right away, like midway through the first quarter. And then Jawan Jennings went on to have like a standout day, like over 100 yards. And he got his third touchdown midway through the third quarter on this lobber from Purdy on the opening possession of the second half. And he had this great contested catch on the very first play on their second possession of the second half which was like really impressive. And like Jennings, he really stepped up to the plate in the Super Bowl, and he most certainly did in this game with no Debo, no George Kittle. Ayuk having a relatively quiet game once again, but yeah, he was like the big man on the field for a Niners offense that was depleted. And meanwhile, for Brock Purdy, he bounced back in this one from a relatively bad game last week in Minnesota where he got sacked multiple times. He got picked twice. Yeah, he didn't exactly have a good game down in that house of horrors, but in a place where he's been relatively comfortable in, yeah, he did pretty well. As well as showing off his improved scrambling ability, even though it was a little worrying at times, where he kept trying to like go left, go right, and then he just kept trying to find something that sometimes was there, but also wasn't there. Like, for example, Brandon Ayuk was like skirting down the field. He was wide open, but Brock Purdy didn't see him. Like, there was a touchdown waiting in the wings, but Purdy was like already on the right, and then there was no touchdown to be found. So he just took the yards, which was unfortunate. Like, you could have had a touchdown there. I'm so glad the Fox broadcast pointed that out in replay, but damn. So that said, like, you have this good day offensively from those three, but unfortunately, all the positives were pretty negated by all the small things that ended up turning into big things later on. And I don't mean big things in like a good way. Like the special teams that didn't exactly do well in this game. They fell for a fake punt, which ended up being a key factor into the Rams slowly but surely coming back into this one. And then I'll talk more about the special teams because I certainly have a lot of things to say about them. The defense, after keeping the Rams in check in the first quarter, they were not able to do so for the second quarter, and then eventually the rest of the game. They were not able to stop Kyren Williams in the running game, especially when he scored on a somersault touchdown over Talanoa Hufanga. Oh, who came back, by the way, but obviously he was clearly rusty, but I'm not going to hold him scorchingly because he's still trying to get those reps in. So he scored on a somersault touchdown, and then you had this 2-minute drill on the offense falling flat on its face because Purdy got strip sacked by Byron Young. But the reason why he got strip sacked is because the right tackle, everyone's favorite right tackle in San Francisco, Colton McShivitz. Yeah, that's what I call him, Colton McShivitz. Or should I call him like, that one particular guy in the Judgment Day in WWE for all my wrestling fans out there. JD McDumbass. Colton McDumbass. Yeah. I like Colton McShivitz better. Colton McKivitz. Yeah, he got like skirted by Byron Young and allowed Brock Purdy to get strip sacked. That was great. Yeah, that was great. But fortunately, nothing ended up happening there. But still, why is Colton McKivitz still in our team? Why did they decide to re-sign him? Why couldn't we go out and get a right tackle in the draft or in the offseason? Why did we elect to keep him around? Yeah, 3 games in, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad of the Niners' decision to keep his ass around. So anyway, all these small things ended up turning into big things going into the fourth quarter. Jake Moody. He did so fine in these first 2 games, but then he misses a long yet key field goal that would have made it a 2-score game with less than 3 minutes to go. Buns. The secondary that didn't do so hot in that second quarter, like where they gave up that touchdown I talked about with Kyren Williams. They gave up 2 more touchdowns to Kyren Williams, and they were giving up intermediate and deep balls, especially Charvarius Ward. He gave up a deep ball to Tutu Atwell, and then I believe Isaac Yiadom did terrible in this game too. Like, why is he on the team? So both of those guys gave up several deep balls in the fourth quarter. And that's the Mooney Ward one, especially set up the Kyren Williams game-tying touchdown. And then the secondary also was in general super undisciplined in coverage. and giving the Rams second chance after second chance with penalties. And yeah, that's why, as I talked about earlier, the Rams were just winning ugly. They're winning by instinct, winning on you know what. They're just living with the opportunities that they're trying to capitalize on. Thanks to the Niners, bam, shooting themselves in the foot. So yeah, all these small things equating into a major collapse. Oh, have I talked about Ronnie Bell? Ronnie Bell dropping the ball, like literally. Like, why is he still on the team? Why is Ronnie Bell still on the team? Like, you have a key catch that you got to make. Brock Purdy calls your number. Drop. He dropped the ball. Oh, this is great. This is great. And then going back to the special teams, they also give up a big punt return, like a 40 to 50 yard punt return that gets the Rams into scoring, like near scoring range, like close to scoring range. They're already in field goal range, but no, you got to get them closer. So then we combine all that together. We put all those pieces together, all the small things together that turn to big things. And then you get the Rams melting, slowly but surely, melting the Niners' asses down, wetting their pants. And they win on a walk-off field goal, 27-24. In a game that seemed winnable for San Francisco. It seemed winnable for the 49ers. Like, this is a game that, you know, I talked about it, made the best injured team win. And it seemed like for, I say, a half, maybe a quarter and a half or a quarter and 3/4, the Niners were going to win this one. But no, they didn't. So as it stands right now, this team, like, what are we doing here? Like, you know, the offense they actually did good in this game. They really bounced back in this one, even with 3 starting players out. Brock Purdy did all he could in this one. So did Jawan Jennings. Like, those two, they played their asses off in this one. So did Jordan Mason. The offensive line, not so much. They did really bad in this one. And we had a couple injury scares with Trent Williams and Fred Warner. So I'm glad they're doing okay. Defensively, they are absolutely terrible as the game wore on. And Nick Sorensen or Brandon Staley, I don't know. Who really is the defensive coordinator for this team? Because I don't know. Because it just seemed like they did nothing to adjust whoever is the defensive coordinator. Whoever the defensive coordinator is, they did nothing to adjust when they saw when the personnel was doing terrible. Or maybe it's a personnel issue. It's a coverage issue because the coverage was bad all second half. And then the special teams, they were terrible with how much they gave up. The big punt return, the missed field goal, and then, well, the field goal on the Ram side to end things. Yeah. So, well, you lose this game 27-24. You're 1-2. You got a lot of issues right now with this team, and yet they're more concerned with, you know, a podcast by Debo and Ayuk. George Kittle doing commercials. I mean, I have no problem with those things, but you got to balance that out with how serious you want this. How serious do you want to finish the story? Like, I know you're this close to quote unquote finishing the story in Vegas several months ago, but of course the curse lives on, right? So if Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff can't fix these issues in the next several weeks when they have to face the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys, all before the bye week, oh man, what are we, 1-2 now? They're fucked. They are fucked. And yeah, if you thought this was bad now, oh man, if you lose to either of those teams, or maybe even all of them, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy and all that. Oh man, just imagine what it could be like by the time we reach week 8. I mean, I'm not trying to be hopeless, but I try to be kind to you, but yeah, I just don't want to anymore. So yeah, Niners lose this one 27-24. They pretty much did this to themselves.
plenty of opportunities to win this one, and they just couldn't get it done. They blew another 10-point lead because that's what Kyle Shanahan and his coaching staff love to do. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this loss to the LA Rams. That they lose the Niners lose their second straight game, and let me know. Let me know what the Niners need to improve on as they head to back home to face the New England Patriots in the first of 2 games in their homestand, in their next homestand, by the way. But let me know your takes. And until the next time we talk about the San Francisco 49ers, eat the lasagna, very cold, in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And I'll see you when I see you. But until then, peace out.